Pre-recorded messages are a dubious training method.
Recordings over loudspeaker. A toy of the ego.
Canned orders over loudspeaker? That seems unprofessional.
A recording. There was something similar in my training camp.
Hostile strongpoint.
A watch post. They appear ready for combat.
Enemy observation post.
Got a lookout, and they're well equipped.
Shit! I won't stop bleeding. I'm gonna... Son of a bitch.
His wounds appear superficial.
He doesn't need to know that.
His wounds are not too serious.
He doesn't need to know that.
Looks like we barely scratched him.
He doesn't need to know that.
Doesn't look that bad, actually.
He doesn't need to know that. What's he talking about?
Jador runs a Blue Suns outlier, and she's making Krogan for an army. But they all come out crazy. Tough as hell, but just insane.
Heavy ordnance would be less costly.
Heavy ordnance would be a better option than a breeding setup.
Why not just buy loads of big guns? Got to be cheaper than a breeding setup.
Buying heavy support weapons would be more direct. Not to mention cheaper.
We are overrun.
Wrong move.
Outpost. Post 4. Goddamn Krogan.
The Warlord is breeding Krogan in Jador's lab.
Okir better be able to explain this.
So our warlord is breeding Krogan in Jador's lab.
Okir better be able to explain this.
So our warlord is breeding Krogan in Jador's lab.
You want an army, you go with the obvious.
So, our warlord is breeding Krogan in Jador's lab.
Okir better be able to explain this. If you start limping now, you might find a shady spot before you bleed out.
Shit. Oh, shit. Oh.
Is demoralization integral to interrogation?
Maybe not. Felt good, though.
Was scaring him like that necessary?
Maybe not. Felt good, though.
The scare was a nice touch.
I thought so.
He probably deserved that.
I thought so.
Hostile contacts.
Resistance ahead. Be wary.
Up ahead! Watch out!
Enemies ahead.
You are different. New. You don't smell like this world. 7 night cycles, and I have felt only the need to kill. But you... something makes me speak.
This Krogan is a week old.
7 night cycles? 7 days?
7 night cycles? He's only 7 days old.
7 night cycles. He's 7 days old.
Then the voice said I was not perfect, and the teaching stopped. And now I am here.
The subject was taught enough to be judged. The criterion are unclear.
I don't know, but I am not perfect.
This creature was taught enough to judge him, but by what standard?
I don't know, but I am not perfect.
He was taught enough to test for something, but what?
I don't know, but I am not perfect.
He was taught until he failed a test for something. But what?
I don't know, but I am not perfect. I heard the voice, not like now, with ears, inside. I called it Father. It like that, but it was disappointed. I'm not what it needs me to be.
We judge it likely this lab intends to repair the Krogan genophage.
Repair? Repair was never whispered. Survive, resist, ignore.
A lab with Krogans. It is reasonable to assume it is an attempt to cure the genophage.
Cure? Cure was never whispered. Survive, resist, ignore. Voice.
A lab with Krogans. Must be another try for a genophage cure.
Cure. Cure was never whispered. Survive, resist, ignore. Voice.
A lab with Krogans. An attempt to cure the genophage?
Cure. Cure was never whispered. Survive, resist,
did you disappoint the voice?
I don't know. It was decided before I left Tank Mother. I was not perfect.
That Merc said they were insane. This Krogan is no less sane than any other.
Perhaps he's prone to the insanity that the Merc mentioned.
Maybe he's prone to the insanity that the Merc mentioned.
Perhaps he's prone to the insanity that the Merc mentioned.
I don't know of that.
I destroyed Saren's cure. How does Okeer expect these Krogan to ignore the genophage if not by curing it?
It is not clear that Okeer succeeded.
I have no idea. It doesn't look like he's had much success with these Krogan.
Don't know. Doesn't look like he's had much success with these Krogan.
I have no idea. It doesn't look like he's had much success with these Krogan.
This is a heavy labor model.
Impressive. Such raw physicality.
They grow them tough, that's for sure.
More subtle than high explosives, I suppose.
Can you show us the way? Help us fight to the lab.
No.
You are damaged.
I will fight if they come.
You are no longer willing to fight?
I will fight if they come.
Krogan don't usually give up that easily.
I will fight if they come.
Have you surrendered?
I will fight if they come.
Close quarters engagement probable.
This has taken a turn for the dangerous.
Stay alert. These close quarters could make for ugly fighting.
There's not a lot of space in here.
Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna run like hell before you blow the place or something. I know how you work.
Further recidivism seems probable.
That may have been too generous.
I'm in favor of second chances. Third chances is stretching it.
You'd think a scientist would be more likely to learn from her mistakes.
I gave their leader my reject for her army, but she grows impatient. It's time for you to take me out of here.
Irrelevant. Specify your dealings with the Collectors.
We have come only because you dealt with the Collectors.
We're here about Collectors, not your problems.
Our concern is your association with the Collectors.
I see.
It is reasonable to assume this is Tudor.
A warm welcome, as always.
We get to kill her at some point, right?
I suppose it's too much to hope those are last words.
Alarms in Okeer's lab. Recommend investigation.
Alarms in the lab. Okeer has initiated something.
Alarms? What's Okeer doing up there?
It appears Okeer has been busy. We should hurry back up.
This specimen must be valuable. Okeer sacrificed everything to preserve it.
Even untested, he is an improvement over Okeer's harsh nature. If he is able, we need him.
A pure Krogan could pack a hell of a punch. We can always use another heavy hitter.
Caution. Krogan are known for indiscriminate target acquisition.
Do we need the trouble of a pure Krogan? The normal ones are hardly team players.
Insufficient data.
He killed so many, but vented the tanks into the room to save this single Krogan?
We don't know what sort of knowledge Okeer planted in him.
A pure Krogan could pack a hell of a punch. We can always use another heavy hitter.
If he'll even help. I doubt anyone's ever asked for his opinion on anything.
Do we need the trouble of a pure Krogan? The normal ones are hardly team players.
We won't know until he's out, which is too late if there's a problem.
He killed so many, but vented the tanks into the room to save this one Krogan?
Primal Krogan instincts are to kill. Reinforcement of those may cause unpredictable behavior.
A pure Krogan could pack a hell of a punch. We can always use another heavy hitter.
If he'll even help. I doubt anyone's ever asked for his opinion on anything.
Do we need the trouble of a pure Krogan? The normal ones are hardly team players.
We won't know until he's out, which could be a problem if he turns out to be hostile.
This single Krogan was more valuable than all the others to Ogier.
A bullet in the brain would save us a lot of headaches.
A pure Krogan could pack a hell of a punch. We can always use another heavy hitter.
His help is not assured. Who knows the mind of a tank-bred Krogan?
Do we need the trouble of a pure Krogan? The normal ones are hardly team players.
There's no way to know without waking him.
Normandy, Ogier is a no-go, but we have a package that needs retrieval. And he's a big one.